You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Brian Kelly and Eli Drinkwitz were on the SEC coaches teleconference. Brian Kelly, obviously, looking for his team in a bounce back this week. Here's what he had to say.
Really good football team. We got to go back on the road against a nationally ranked team. Obviously disappointed in what happened last week, so looking to rebound and play up to our standards. So excited about this opportunity.
As for Eli Drinkwitz, he was asked about this LSU offense, and I don't believe this is coach speak. I think Eli Drinkwitz understands what his defense is up against with LSU.
They've got a very good, efficient offense. I only have them punting 9 times on the season, and we're through 5 games. I mean, that's an elite number right there. So our defense is going to have to be really good at 4-point plays in the red zone. We're going to have to be really good at trying to force takeaways, and offensively, we got to make sure we value our possessions and take care of the ball and score points.
One of the really interesting things also about this game is Mekhi Wingo is going back to Missouri. And Mekhi Wingo did meet with reporters on Tuesday and talked about going home.
It's going to be great. I've been talking to my old teammates there and all my friends. So, it's definitely going to be great just to those family members that never really been able to travel, just to be able to come back home and play in front of them. It's a great feeling.
And interestingly enough, Mekhi Wingo and that LSU defensive front 7 are going to be so important in this ball game. LSU, it's interesting. That line opened LSU 6.5. It's down to 5.5 now because what's happening is exactly what I think we talked about yesterday. Thought would happen is the odds makers put that line out there, and the public saw LSU, the defense that just gave up 700 yards and 55 points to Ole Miss. Now they have to go on the road to Mizzou, 5-0 Mizzou. It's going to be a sellout, and Mizzou's getting 6.5 points. Give me Mizzou all day. You're seeing that. And you're probably going to see that line go down a little bit. And the Sharps are waiting, and they're going to hammer LSU late. I'm telling you, you're going to watch that line grow again because the Sharps are going to be all over LSU in this ballgame. But for LSU, it really feels like it's going to be, the onus is going to be on Mekhi Wingo and that LSU defensive front 7 because that's where LSU has talent. Where they are deficient clearly is in their secondary. We've talked about it a ton. We all know that. This front 7 has to play better. And they've played well at times this year, but they got to be able to go to Columbia this weekend and play better. I mean, it's hard to play worse than you did this past weekend. But you look for a big bounce back here from LSU. Now, offensively, you know that you're going to have to get going offensively in this ball game because it's just what LSU is going to do. And they're going to be an offensive-centric team, and they're going to have to lean on their offense. And, I think, for one of the really interesting things Jaden Daniels said when he met with reporters on Tuesday was that he feels like this LSU offense isn't even running at its max efficiency. That they could be averaging better than 50 a game right now instead of the 44 they're averaging if they were running at a greater efficiency than they are, which is hard to imagine that they're doing. But, Jaden talked about this offense and how confident they are right now.
It's week by week, but one thing I try to do is no matter what the performance, the good and the bad, it doesn't translate to now. So, whatever we did on offense last week or the past couple weeks, it doesn't translate to Missouri. So, we got that on to the next mentality because if you keep trying to live in the past, you're not in the present or anything like that.
Jaden is he's really impressed from a lot of different standpoints, right? I think we all look at the athlete and realize you have this kid that's 6'4" and is a fantastic athlete who can move the pocket, who can make plays with his feet. He's shown you the accuracy that a lot of people wanted to see. The decision-making has always been good. Maybe the argument has been he'd been too tentative, but the decision-making is good as far as protecting the football. And the leadership is undeniable. His ability to just be steady and calm no matter not getting too high or too low. And it's one of the reasons why you like LSU to be able to sort of flush what happened a week ago. Now, on the flip side, Eli Drinkwitz was asked this question today given how that Ole Miss game went, like, does Missouri this week focus on that tape because of LSU struggles in it?
I think you look at it more based on the personnel that's involved. I mean, some of the personnel that played earlier in the season not there anymore, whether it's due to injuries or whatever the case may be. And I think the later you get into the season, you more develop into the identity that you're going to have. So I don't necessarily think it's a scheme-wise. I think when you watch that game, you realize, for me as an offensive coach, I have a much more appreciation for the way the quarterback played. I thought Dart played outstanding. Judkins played, as good as any running back in the country in the yards after contact. They have several running backs that can really play well. So I think there was a lot of that game that was a special performance by Ole Miss as much as anything.
And if you're LSU, you're looking at it, all the missed tackles and the missed opportunities in it. But Eli Drinkwitz kind of saying the right things there, but the thing he's right about is the different personnel. I mean, we watched LaTerrence Welch start. We saw Ashton Stamps, true freshman, make his first career start on the road against Ole Miss. We've seen changes on the defensive line. Just look at what they were in the season opener and how much has changed. Whereas Alexander, Deuce Chestnut were starting corners against Florida State. Neither guy started against Ole Miss this past weekend. Harold Perkins was a starting inside backer with Omar Spates against Florida State. Neither guy started at that spot against, I guess Omar Spates did. But 2 weeks ago, with Spates out, you had two different starters with Greg Penn and Whit Weeks. Perkins has moved to the outside. Yeah, there's been a lot of personnel changes on that defense just in 5 weeks. So how much more comfortable and familiar can they get? That's going to go a long way to LSU's progression offensively this game and for the remainder of the season. All right, LSU and Missouri, Saturday, 11 a.m. From Como, and it's going to be a sellout. I know a lot of people who are trying to get tickets up that way. I do not believe LSU. I was told LSU did not sell its allotment for this game. So I don't think there's going to be a great number of LSU fans there, but there's going to be an awful lot of people in black and gold cheering for Mizzou as they're fired up to be 5-0 for the first time since 2013, ranked. What they feel like is a gettable LSU team coming in. It's going to be a good environment, as good as it could be for an 11 a.m. game there in Como. LSU's going to have to be up for the challenge. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.